Hello, my name is Matthew White, and this is my final presentation over Qualcomm and an industry analysis. So, a little bit about Qualcomm. Qualcomm is an industry leader in telecommunications and mobile innovation. They design and develop wireless communications such as semiconductors for smartphones, as well as wireless communications such as 3G, 4G, 5G, and they're actually working on developing 6G, and as well as Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. So they operate under two main segments, which is the Qualcomm CDMA Technologies segment, which is QCT, and the Qualcomm Technology Licensing segment, which is QTL, as well as investing in the Internet of Things. Their business strategy is changing primarily from focusing on smartphones to investing in the Internet of Things, the automobile industry, and artificial intelligence. Some of the most important industry and its competitors is its smartphone industry. So as mentioned before, Qualcomm CDMA Technologies, that is the segment that develops the semiconductors, and they actually outsource to foundries, which are companies that make the actual semiconductors, but companies like Qualcomm design the semiconductors themselves. In 2024, out of the $39 billion revenue that Qualcomm generated, roughly 85.6% of this revenue was due to the QCT segment because of the semiconductors for smartphones. Some key competitors to Qualcomm include Samsung, Intel, and MediaTek. Some of the key customers include Samsung, Apple, BMW, Mercedes, and more. For my Porter's Five Forces analysis, for the threat of new entrants, I found it to be relatively low due to the high startup cost and the immense capital needed. It can range anywhere from $100 to over $500 million to design and develop semiconductors for smartphones. For the bargaining power of suppliers, I found it to be low to moderate due to some companies having leverage, some of the biggest companies in the semiconductor manufacturing game, but strategic partnerships that Qualcomm utilizes help to keep this risk low. The bargaining power of buyers is moderate to high. The cost to switch are very expensive, but bigger companies such as Apple can exert market pressure, which that actually happened one time due to Apple wanting to exert pressure and switching to Intel for their semiconductors. For the threat of substitutes, I found it to be low to moderate. Cost required to change is high, but some companies like Apple began making their own, which in 2023, Apple started using their own silicone in MacBooks, therefore ending the reliance on Intel that they had had for years. And for the competitive rivalry, I found it to be very high because of large companies with lots of money and resources, such as Samsung, Intel, and MediaTek. They have a lot of resources and money, which make it hard to get and maintain a competitive advantage. Some of the core competencies for Qualcomm are their wireless technologies. Qualcomm's Snapdragon chipset was the first to surpass the 1 and 2 gigahertz barriers among smartphone processors. The research and development, roughly 25% of their budget went to research and development in 2018, which they are a multi-billion-dollar company, so that's a lot of money in research and development. And strategic acquisitions and partnerships. Since 2009, Qualcomm has acquired over 40 different firms to be able to use their information and their design systems and integrate it with them, and licenses and patents. So for my recommendations, I would recommend that Qualcomm focus on AI development due to the emerging and rapid success of AI and just how popular it has become. I would also recommend they focus on the automobile industry. In the past 15-ish years, since Tesla has emerged as one of the leading electronic vehicle manufacturers, there's a lot of different components that Qualcomm could focus on and include in their research and development team. I would also I would also recommend that they focus on the Internet of Things due to the emerging changes in the trends, such as wearables like Apple Watches or virtual reality and PCs or anything like that. There's a lot of money and a lot of market to be made there. And finally, I would recommend that the investors invest. Qualcomm has proven time and time again that they exceed expectations and that they are a profitable company, and I think this would be a smart investment if you want a long-term smart way to gain some money. Thank you for watching my presentation.